Hey, this is I've been I had my eye on this person for a long time.
What's up?
What's up, Liz?
I'm so happy to be here. Hey, bro.
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm
Good to see you.
fangirling. I'm fangirling, Liz.
Yeah,
I've been fangirling all you for like 3 years.
so guys, Liz, we're expecting like double the turnout. For anyone who's ever been on ClickFunnels, like for a little while, like a year. Okay, everyone knows Liz. Okay, when I first got on ClickFunnels almost 4 years ago now, this was the very first person that I seen. I seen the inner circle, the Russell Brunson, the story about some things that you went through and onto the success. And when I told Alex is one of my business partners at the gym. He's like, is that the kapow? Is that I was like, dude, it's the freaking kapow, man. He's like, dude, I know who that is. I'm showing up. So guys, I wanted to introduce Liz Benny. Liz Benny is, like I said, this is what I've been telling everybody. Liz Benny is like the most publicized student that ever came out of like Russell Brunson ClickFunnels stuff. She's been featured on the Huffington Post. She's been featured on ClickFunnels, of course. She's been featured on Entrepreneur Magazine, CNN, Ellen, okay, and Inc. So Liz Benny's going to be here, and she's going to tell you her story. What's up, Chris? And hopefully drop some gems on us. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I always say there's a special guest. This one's a selfish one. This one's kind of for me.
Me too. I'm like, bring in the gems.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Liz Benny, and then Liz, I want you to introduce yourself. But open forum, tell us your story, and we're all here. So, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, Miss Liz Benny. Liz.
Okay, sorry. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you. I literally am going to start this today the same way that I start most things that I do online. I'm going to say, hi, you know, Mr. Kapow. My name is Liz Benny, and I do the little kapow. In fact, I've got to tell you something funny. This is really, really funny. This dude, I didn't even know him. He reached out, he friend requested me yesterday, and I only normally accept friend requests when I see like at least 10 mutual friends. Right. And I took a punt on this guy. I was like, whatever, like he looks like a good guy. I'm going to say whatever. Anyway, he was literally in Philadelphia, this amazing guy, and he was telling me about how my story had changed his life. And he literally had me in stitches laughing yesterday morning in this office. He was telling me about this little thing that I do, the kapow, and he was talking about how I about blasted him onto the floor, and he was like, whoa, what did I just get hit with? So, raw, real, and honest with all you guys right now. Yes, this is my natural energy. Yes, I've only had one coffee today. I'm a one coffee per day person. My name is Liz Benny. I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. I have wanted to make it big in the world since I was a little kid. I always knew that I was an entrepreneur ever since I was a little, like I'm a farm girl from South Otago. It's close to Antarctica. It's a long way south. It's a long, long, long way south. It's very cold down there. I'm an entrepreneur. I love what I do. I help people around the world. And I don't know. I don't really know what else to say right now. Oh, one thing. I'm a raw, real, and honest type person. So, Mike, I kind of need to set the record straight a little bit. Haven't been on Ellen yet. Soon to be on Ellen. That's my goal.
Soon to be on Ellen.
There we go.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So Liz, could you? So we've seen like the story of some of the stuff that you went through before, you started making some real stuff happen. Liz consistently has done over 15K daily in online sales. So she's a course creator. She teaches internet marketing. She's a coach. Liz, like, could you bring us back? Like who's the teenage Liz? Like, what were you thinking? What was
oh my gosh.
Yeah, take us there.
Okay, cool. So by the way, totally open forum, you guys and girls. You can ask me anything you want. My goal here today is to serve all of your faces off. I really want to help you with whatever it is, like internally, externally, strategically, whatever it is to help you get from where you are right now to know that next step that you need to take. So ask me anything, okay? So I'm here 100% in service to all of you. I don't want anything other than the ability to serve. That's all I want, okay? So high school, Liz Benny.
Yeah.
She was a reject, absolute reject. She used to eat her lunch in the toilet cubicle because she had no friends.
Wow.
Honestly, like when I was at high school, I was like, dang it. Like this can't be what life is about. Like, I know I had this feeling inside me that I was meant for more. And I was at this, There's boarding school. I'm a farm girl. So my only options in terms of schooling was to sit on a bus for like 2 hours every single day to get to the local high school or go to boarding school. By the way, my mum taught at that local high school as well. I don't want to go to the school that my mum taught at. Like, that's not a good idea. So I went to boarding school and like it was a very horrible time. That's when my parents were divorced, and like I started to find myself. I was dyslexic. Nobody really knew what dyslexic was. So I was in the cabbage class. I was the dumb one. My friends were rich. I was poor. I'm like, this sucks. So I had that feeling of like, nobody here really understands me. Nobody here really gets me. So the best thing for me to do right now is to just go and eat my lunch in the toilet cubicle, because it's either that or I look like a reject out there. I might as well look like a reject to myself rather than everyone on knowing that I'm a reject. Does that make sense, dude?
Yeah. So what were you, like, you're leaving high school, what were you thinking? Are you going to go to college, become an entrepreneur? Like,
great question. Great question. So I think what we do as humans is we try to fit in as much as we can. So it's like, well, but I knew where I didn't fit in, right? So I'm getting comfy on my chair. I'm getting ready for you guys. After high school, all of my friends, or all the people from high school, they were all going off to college, and they were doing the normal white picket fence thing. And they were all going to, not all, but the majority of them were going to the major universities here in New Zealand, either Auckland, which is in the North Island, or to Otago University. And I'm like, hell no. Like, I'm not going. I've had enough feeling like a useless piece of crap around these people. Yeah. I need to be away. I need to go somewhere else. So I actually went to a different university to get away from them. To be really honest with you, I didn't know what I had this yearning to be an entrepreneur, and my dad, growing up, my dad had a farm, but and he still has the farm. But what I didn't realize is that entrepreneurialism was actually running through my dad as well. Like, we often don't think that farmers are entrepreneurs. Farmers are entrepreneurs because they have to think in a very problem-solving way. So I had that upbringing of like problem solution. Every single day is a problem-solving scenario, and you have to be okay with the fact that there are always going to be problems, and it's the game. So then, like, I grew up always fixing problems with my dad. And then my dad had a rose business. He's an international rose hybridizer. Like, he makes new roses and puts them out into the international market. And that's kind of where my marketing started, because my dad was crap at marketing. Really, really, really good at making new roses. Really good at that, crap at marketing. And that's when I started to realize that, honestly, without marketing, without the ability to tell the story, without the ability to connect the product with the heart of the customer, to get the customer to go, oh my gosh, like, I can see myself using that thing and feeling and being that thing. Like, without that, there is no sale. Right. So that's where where the marketing started. But I didn't see myself in my dad's business, because I kind of felt like my dad gave me the rose business and he gave the boys the farm. I'm like, am I not worthy of the farm? Like right. I get the little rose business, Dad. But I went to uni. I've got, what have I got? I went to uni, got a Bachelor of Social Sciences, majoring in social psychology. And then after that, I went out and I've got a master's degree in positive psychology as well. So it's actually a master's degree in management. But what I studied was positive psychology, which is really looking at the effects of positivity on performance. Like, I understood that, like, I saw these people being successful. I'm like, what's the common denominator here? And how do you live a happy life? Like, I really want to live a happy, incredible, amazing life. And I want to help other people do the same. But there are elements, and like, I was one of the first people in New Zealand to study like flourishing and to study, like learned optimism, because people can become optimistic. And so went to uni, did that, went to Australia, did a high 6-figure job. And I'm like, ugh, this sucks. I know it's not me. Who here has had that feeling of like, this is not me. Like, this is totally not me. I know I'm in the wrong place. I shouldn't be doing this. It's not me, but I know I'm on my journey. Yeah, it's a horrible feeling. But some of the time it's the feeling that you need to go through to get the skill that you need to get to the next level.
So Liz, when you're holding that job, successful job, high paying job, how long were you in that role for?
I was in that role, interestingly, and I'm just going to be raw, real and honest with you all. Like, it's the only way I know how to be. So I was in that job And I was over in Australia with my ex-boyfriend, and for those of you that know me, like I'm actually married to the most incredible, beautiful, incredible, amazing wife. So I'm in a same-sex relationship. And like, again, it was this thing of like, I know that I'm not doing the right thing. Like I'm not with the right person. I'm not, but I don't know how to get out yet. It's not the right time. Hey, amazing Jeff, do you want to mute yourself, dude? Let me mute you. No, I can't mute you. I've done so many of these things. I'm like, yeah, Jasper, dude. So yeah, I was in that job, and I just like, literally, my house was paid for. I was living by the beach in Australia. They accidentally stuffed up my contract, so they literally gave me, instead of like a 2 year or a 5 year contract, they gave me a lifetime contract. Wow. Like, meaning I was on 6 figures plus for like, I was set for life with basically no expenses. And I was like,
right. So did your family, like, you got your education, you got your master's, you got the good paying job, you got, the contract. Were you getting like a lot of like, wow, congratulations, we're really proud of you, but did you feel like inside you're like, I don't feel complete? Was that going on?
Yeah, I there, and I felt like I'd fallen into the normal world. I felt like I'd fallen into somebody else's world. I'm like, okay, this is cool, and most people like would be happy, like ecstatic. They were in this safe job for this safe thing for the rest of their life, and I'm like, it's just nah, yeah. So it didn't. But honestly, that's where, like, who here has experienced that feeling of like, not necessarily depression. I've certainly felt depression, but that feeling of like, it's just in your gut and you go, what am I doing? Like, this is not, I'm not in alignment with this thing. But I'm getting that feedback. Like, it's, people are like, oh my gosh, look at you making all the money. I'm like, yeah, but money shmoney. Like, that's actually my thing. Like, money shmoney. Money's good, but money plus fulfillment is, God, that's yum.
Okay, and then Liz, how much time went on from that point when you left there, when you started doing the online stuff? What was that journey like when you started looking, doing online marketing?
Great question.
Let's talk about that.
Sorry, say that again. Last question.
How'd you get introduced to Russell and click?
Oh, okay. You want the story? Hope you guys are ready for a journey. How long have we got today? We got like 4 hours? Like, how long are we here today?
Yeah, listen, the world is yours, sister. We're here. We're here.
No, I think I do have a meeting sometime. I've got 4 meetings today, so I better kind of go to those meetings as well. So,
really cool. But we're all good.
Sweet. We'll aim for an hour. I'm going to jam pack as much awesomeness in here. Wait a second. I'm just going to clear my throat. This is not normal. 1 second. Hello, hello, hello. Is that better?
Perfect.
Sweet. Okay. So I was in this job, knew it wasn't for me, was in this relationship, knew it wasn't for me. God, Spirit, Universe was like, yeah. So, when you get those, you just keep getting those messages coming up, and it's like, yeah, this isn't you. 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 And it gets louder and louder and louder when you don't listen. Actually, Oprah says that in such a beautiful way. I think how does she say it? Like, life comes along and smacks you in the face if you didn't listen to the whisper. Like, listen to the whisper, and then it gets louder, it gets to a shout, and then it gets to and then boom, it's in your face. You're like, okay, I should probably have listened back there.
Yeah.
But like, I always had this entrepreneurial spirit inside me. I remember when I was back down on the farm, trying to I think half of becoming an entrepreneur is working out that you're an entrepreneur, working out that it's okay to be an entrepreneur, working out that, like, there is life as an entrepreneur that is actually more free than like this constructive safety. Like, it's actually, I feel safer. Like, we've all gone through this crazy pandemic. I feel safer as an entrepreneur. I'm so grateful that I'm an entrepreneur. I feel safer. And I'm grateful that I'm an entrepreneur as opposed to in a job, because we look at what's happening, like, it's worldwide. In New Zealand, we've got the same thing, not potentially to the same degree as it's happening in North America. I know that Australia is experiencing, but that globally we've got jobs that are like flying out. And sorry about the throat thing. No idea what's going on there. Maybe I'll just try a little glass of water. Please hold the line. Your call is important.
You can't even tell.
Man, I need a new mic then if you can't tell. That's not good. So like the journey. Okay, so here's the deal. Who here has done network marketing? Who here failed at network marketing?
Liz, I was the dude that used to go to the events but never signed up. But I used to go for the people.
Love it. Well, you were the smart one, and like you did it the good way. You didn't invest overly into it. So for me, I honestly think that network marketing is a great first step for entrepreneurs, because we get to learn sales, we get to learn how to deal with rejection, we get to learn kind of some basic business skills. So I actually started in, it wasn't actually network marketing, but it was more like direct sales of high ticket offers. So the very first stuff that I jumped into was selling personal development events through this network marketing type model. And that was when I was over in Australia, and I was like doing this thing of like being in my job. By the way, I have Play-Doh. I'm a fiddler. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm fiddling with Play-Doh at the same time. And so I knew I wanted more. I knew like, it's not that I was unhappy with my income over there. Like I just kept like sending this money into my superannuation. I kept sending money into, like, it was like my savings kept growing, and I was like, yeah, but like,
right.
Meh. And so I met this guy literally, met this American guy literally at the back of a Boeing 747 plane as I was flying from Australia to America to meet my friend in Colorado. I love Colorado. It's like one of my favorite places in the world, like up in the mountains. And I met this guy, and I was personal contact marketed, and he was telling me about this life and this thing that I got to, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, I signed up, gave him like $25,000 and I was like, wow, cool, I'm in this company. But it didn't work out like my very first experience of being an entrepreneur. I made a lot of money for other people because it was like a 2-up thing. You had to pass some sales up. I did $6,000 in sales in my first year as an entrepreneur, and I got to pocket like 20 of it, if that. So that was pretty crappy.
How much sales? How much sales did you do the first year?
$70,000 in my first year.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. But as I said, like those things that all got lifted up, like it was past 2 sales up to the person above you, and you had to kind of qualify. You said, stupid. Like we all make wrong decisions to learn lessons along the way. So you got to look at the bad things that happen as lessons. And that's really, honestly, like that's, if I could impart anything upon all of you right now, like it would be, bad stuff is going to happen, period. That's it. Bad stuff is going to happen. How you think about that bad thing, you can be a victim. Like, and I've played the victim line a lot. Like, oh, woe is me. Look at what happened, and how dare that person charge back $15,000 on me? This must mean I'm a bad person. And like, you can make it mean what you want to make it mean. Empowering yourself is one of the very first things that you have to do. Bad stuff is going to happen. People are going to say stuff about your gym. People are going to say stuff about your marketing. People are going to be horrible to you all the time, because people are approaching the world from their knowledge, from their belief system, from their understanding. Does it make it right, wrong, blah, 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 blah? I'm not here to judge on that. But you can like in business and in life, like making, like bringing to light what's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of upheaval in the world right now. Let's be really, really honest. And we've got to all keep ourselves in check as business owners, as humans, as people. Like, who am I showing up as? And that's one of the biggest things that I would say is like, business is one of the biggest personal development opportunities for us all, period. If you're not prepared to do personal development, entrepreneurialism is going to get harder and harder and harder, period. And when I say personal development, I mean the internal work. You need to be able to become the person that you need to be to grow your business. You need to become the person. And like Little Liz Benny, I called this person in the past Little Liz Benny. Wow. Little Liz Benny was the very first person that signed up, and like she might have made $70,000, but I'll tell you what, she was like, I look back at that person, she was a whiny piece of shit. She had victim mentality. She had me. Like, she needed to grow the frick up. really honest. Like but she needed to get to where she is now. Like little Liz Benny doesn't show up anymore, but I remember little Liz Benny. She wanted the world, but she needed to become the person that was able to accept it. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah.
Like, we want good things in life, but you've got to be willing to become the person that is able to accept that stuff. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Yeah, it makes sense. Liz, for someone that's starting out right now as an entrepreneur, what are some things that they can do to become the person that they need to be? What are some of the first steps? And that's a very general question, but
it's a huge
start.
Yeah. Well, firstly, give yourself a lot of grace. The first thing I want to say is that it's the beautiful thing here is that give yourself grace. You're going to stuff up, period. You will. We all do every single day. And I kind of feel like, Mike, I didn't really answer your question as well as I should back here.
We're going to get there.
Yeah. But because I look at it and I'm kind of like pulling these two questions in together. Like there's this person that knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur. She was starting out. She didn't have all the tools in her belt. But it was the journey that taught her the tools too. So if you can give yourself the grace of understanding that just walking the journey is going to teach you, like you don't have to like go out and, like what are the top 5 books I should read? Like, well, take action. That's the first thing that I'd say to you. Like, yes, fundamental or read books. Yes, definitely. But commit to the journey, because I think like a lot of people look up to people who have done the 2CCX award and they're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then a lot of people have seen like, in the ClickFunnels space, as an example, like time collapses, things seem to go, people seem to be able to be a lot more successful faster these days, which is really, really cool. But there are a lot of people that it's still a longer journey. And I think as long as we all commit to the long-term journey, like if you're here for like to become an overnight success and to make $1 million in the very first year, if that's your goal, that's really cool. It's beautiful. It's amazing. But commit to the longer term than that. Commit to 5 years of entrepreneurialism. Commit to 10 years and go, you know what, this is going to be an amazing journey. My goal for the first year is like this. And then also like keep yourself in check. Who do I need to become? What do I need to do to reverse engineer this? Well, I need a coach. I need a system. I need to prove a model. I need great marketing. And literally just did this with my team because we're about to launch a project to the world very soon. And we've got the goal. Like here's the goal. We're doing a 90 day, so a 3-month sprint. And then I'm looking at all the tasks that need to happen in order to achieve that goal. Because without reverse engineering, without like being structured here. So there's one other thing I'm going to say. So you say, who do you become the person? Understand this. This is how I look at life in business, in everything. And I'm going to be careful because I'm going to say God, Spirit, Universe, because there are going to be people here who are universally minded. There are people here who are going to be atheists. And like, I want to remain open to everyone. Understand, believe me, like I've had to be really careful with how I coach. And I'm always mindful, like on a group call, it's a little bit bigger to play to the crowd. There will be Christian people here, agnostic, atheist, searching, spiritual. So I'm speaking to all of you. Understand that there is an internal environment that you will need to grow to have the capacity to become the person that you financially want to become. There's an internal relationship with God, Spirit, Universe. Some people say, oh my gosh, I heard the voice of God today and and that's beautiful. Yay, you, that's amazing. So that internal relationship, some people say, oh my gosh, I felt Mother Gaia coming through me and I felt the universe flow through me and it just felt, cool, go you, that's amazing. All I want to say is there is an internal relationship that you need to grow. Your internal capacity of allowing abundance, growth, and that's about growing you internally. And I'm using my heart like area, but it's like the mind as well, like growing your mind. But I'm kind of focusing more on the heart right now because entrepreneurs that make it have the capacity to bring it. So I'm growing your internal capacity. And then there's an external. The external side is growing the skills, growing the tools, growing the team. It's sharpening the blade. It's sharpening the saw. It's like getting down and dirty. But if you get down and dirty with the external without respect for the internal growth that you're going to have to do, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's going to be rough.
It will happen a lot more slowly.
Right.
A lot more slowly. Yeah.
Right.
I have a question if I can.
Go for it.
Hi. So you just mentioned about how you were growing and going through these things, and you're talking about your team. In your entrepreneurial journey, a lot of us were on our own. We're doing it by ourselves. We're trying to get to that next level. When did you know, and when did you take that leap to say, I'm bringing in a team?
I love it.
Because I can't do it all by myself. I got to release some of this.
Yeah. Who's there right now? Hands up. Yeah, you're definitely there. So Chris, yep. Mike, you there? Cool. And I want to say your name correctly. Is it, because in New Zealand, I would say Onisha. How do I say your beautiful name? Onisha? Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Onisha. You got it.
Onisha. Oh, that's beautiful. Because in New Zealand, it's much like Hawaii, like all the and it's, yeah. I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. That's awesome. So, thank you for the grace of potentially stuffing up. Thank you for that. So being at that point, like internally, Chris, it's a matter of listening. Like I got to give up some of this now. Like I'm at that point. I need help. I know I need help. For me, my very first hire was administrative assistants. That's it. Like administrative assistants, taking off. Like we've got to understand, like most entrepreneurs are arrogant, egotistical pieces of crap. Sorry, said it. Because
I feel like you're talking to me.
Yeah, dude. No, seriously. It's like, this is my baby and nobody can do it but me. Really? I'm sitting on an Apple freaking Macintosh right now. If Steve Jobs thought that, really, I'm not sitting on the Apple Mac, to be honest. I'm using the Apple Mac. Sitting on it would mean, like, we're not going to go there. But all I want to say is don't be arrogant. Like you're going to need to, if you want to take your business where you want to take it, like $1 million business, people go, oh my gosh, Liz Benny's made millions. Liz Benny and her team created millions. So the first thing is a mindset shift, right? So everyone in the world is going through some huge mindset shifts right now. Let's speak to the times. But without the awareness, like the first thing you need to be aware. And then you go, okay, cool. Now I need to make some changes. Okay. So for me, my very first thing, and I was scared. I was like, oh yes, but, and I came up with all the fears. Well, then you've got to go, well, these are my fears of it going wrong. But if I don't hire that person, what's going to change? Nothing. Well, then cool. Awesome. Now it's your responsibility to show up again as the person that you need to show up as to get that result, which means that you were once an entrepreneur. You were once an entrepreneur that was a hustler, that knows every single button in the business, that knows how to build the funnels, that knows how to do the Facebook ads, that knows how to do the branding, that knows how to like outsource to Fiverr, that knows how to set up the things, that knows how to do the domain stuff in ClickFunnels. Now you need to become a different version of that person. The step up from that is an entrepreneur that is a leader to a team, a manager to a team. And then your awareness of yourself has to change. What that means is that you can't assume that person is going to do the job for you the exact same way that you did it, to the exact same high degree that you did it, with the exact same care that you did it. No, that person is them. That person is them. So what you must need to, what you have to understand is that in order for you to become an incredible leader in your business, you need to show up at certain times in your business as the leader, as the standard operating procedure person. So you basically, like what I tell my people is, right, but like my coaching clients, I go, cool. First thing you've got to do is work out the first 5 jobs that you need to get off your plate ASAP. What are those first 5 jobs? Answering emails, like whatever they are, Facebook group management, just whatever those are. And then allow yourself to do the process once more, probably a few times more, but create a standard operating procedure around that. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Make it a process, and then again, remember, you're a different person now. You are a business leader. You're a person who is leading a team. So a person who leads the team, like, your responsibility is to make sure that your new person understands your culture in your business, understands how you expect the job to be done. And then there's a feedback loop that you're creating in your business. As an example, who wants to know how I've stuffed up? Who wants to know how I've stuffed up with team leadership so that you don't make the same mistake as me? Yay, cool, awesome. So I love knowing how people stuff up. I'm like, ooh, don't want to go that way. That kind of hurt you. Thank you for giving me the gift of your stuff up. So for ages and ages and ages and ages, like my very first hire was administrative assistants. By the way, am I talking too much? Or is this helping people? Is this good?
Keep going.
Okay, good. Because I could talk for like 5 hours, and
awesome.
my wife would be like, yeah, so you know those other calls that you were supposed to be on? I'm like, yes.
Liz, I'm talking to my business partner in the back right now, Angela, who's right above you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's the best. I love her. You're good. I just opened up the curtains. So that's kind of what's going on behind.
Yay! I love behind the scenes. This is awesome. So, I nearly I got to the point with my current administrative assistant where I was like, God, like, what in the world? Are you there? Are you doing it? Are you not doing it? Are you we've talked about this so many times. I need to know that you were clicking all that. So I had the Trello thing of like all the tasks that she needed to do on a daily basis. Check this. And I had the conversation with her like, hey, this is a real thing that I want you to understand, is that your staff are not you. Your staff don't think like you. Your staff are different personalities. Your staff are often different cultures. Your staff are from different backgrounds. Like my administrative assistant, she's an incredible person, and she's in Chennai, India. Amazing. English is actually her very first language. She corrects my English. I love it. I'm dyslexic, so I really love that she corrects my English. I'm like, this is great. But what I will tell you is that she is self-professed lazy. And if she doesn't want to do a task, she won't do it. And I'm like, that's not going to work for me. Like, I need to know that when I go away with my wife tomorrow, we're going away for 3 nights. I need to know that my support tickets are going to be cared for, because I've got a kapow culture, and it reflects incredibly badly, not on her, but on me, if people aren't cared for, period. Like, it doesn't reflect badly. But that's not her fear, that's my fear. So it's my responsibility to put a system in place to make sure that I know that customers are looked after, so that I can close the loop on a daily basis. So what I want you to think of here is you must be, from a job standpoint, loop closes, loop closes, loop closes, loop closes, loop closes. Now, for a year, I had a system in place with my administrative assistant where in Trello, every single week she sets herself up for the week. These are all the daily tasks, and these are the weekly tasks. And every single day, like, I can go into her Trello and I can see that I should be able to see that all of her tasks are ticked off, and that it's taken from the day across into completed. So whatever day it is today, I don't even know. That's the world we're living in right now. It's Thursday, the 4th of June over here. So for most of you, it'll be Wednesday, the 3rd of June. So at the end of Wednesday, the 3rd of June, her thing should be over and completed. But I keep going into Trello like a week later and go, oh my gosh, like, you didn't, like, the buttons aren't pressed. Like, was it done? I don't know. Was it done? You've pulled the card across, but you didn't click the buttons. So now I'm freaking out. I'm going, this is not okay. I'm getting angry with her, freaking out for, like, my reputation. Does everyone understand this? So Chris, I hope that you get this thing. It's not enough to just have the tasks. I hadn't taken the responsibility of getting what I needed as a leader in the team, I hadn't put a system in place to close the loop. I'd done 90% of it. And I didn't realize that that last 10% was the thing that was causing me the most like stuff. It's like, did she do it? Are we okay? Are we safe? Right? Because for us as entrepreneurs, if someone's not doing the job right in our business, we feel unsafe. We feel like someone's attacking our baby. We feel like things could go wrong. We get all worried about litigiousness, especially like this day and age. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? What's someone going to say? Like, is my reputation going to go down the gurgler because my assistant didn't blah, 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 blah. Does this make sense, everyone? These are your babies we're talking about. These are your businesses we're talking about. This is your reputation we're talking about. These are big things.
Hello.
Okay? Yeah, you get it?
Oh, yeah.
So who wants to know what that last 10% is? Because it's all very well and good to have the Trello list of the dailies and the weekly list of the dailies. Now, this is the one last thing. So Trello is amazing. Having your daily tasks that you want someone to do for you is amazing. Giving them the training on how to do those specific tasks for you is amazing. But it's not enough for you and for them if they haven't closed the loop in a way that makes you know that the job is done on a daily basis. Because if I went and worked at Starbucks, I know that they've got a list of things that I have to do. Wipe the bench, clean the thing, clean the filter, put the things away. Like there is a system and you have to think of your businesses that way. But if you don't close the loop, it's like the person that's doing the cashing up, leaving the cash beside the till and not putting it in the safe. Or you don't know that it's in the safe. Is it in the safe? Is it in the till? Did they do the cash up? Like that's not a good feeling. Okay, so I want you to think of this last 10% as the cashing up in your business. Like you're like, cash is where it needs to be. Sweet, we're good. So that last 10% that has allowed me to not have to go to her Trello every single day. I don't want to create work by her doing more work. Like me getting her to do the task should be less work for me, not more work for me. I shouldn't have to go to certain places and like check on a daily basis to see if Trello has been done. And I don't want to do that. That's more work. That sounds like hell. I'll freaking do it myself. Bad idea. Create a better system. If you hear yourself going, oh, I'll just do it myself. You need to step up and go, is there a system? Is this a repeatable thing? Can I systemize this so someone else can do this for me? So that last 10% is on a daily basis. My assistant messages through to me in the one area, one place that I want the feedback that she's done her tasks. And every single day I say, this is what I want. I want to know. And I say, and I template it out for her as well. Use this template, get back to me every single day in Slack. Tell me what you did for the day, how many hours you worked, link me to your Trello, accountability. Get the Trello link for the day, give me the link to your Trello, and give me all of the Facebook comments that I need to reply to. Give me the direct link to all the comments that I need to reply to personally. Hi Liz, here are my dailies for this today. I did my dailies, 1 hour. I did this other work that you asked me to do, 1.5 hours. Here's the link to my Trello. And here are the other links that you need to reply to personally. What? Are you kidding me right now? Do you know how amazing I feel? Like I literally, that last 10% means that I don't ever need to question. Like you've got to think of your business as this. If you're busy thinking about all the jobs over there, is that being done? Is that person doing what I said? I need to do this. You've got to think of like it's mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
Mental bandwidth. You need to clear up your mental bandwidth so that you can focus on the things. And even if you've got a person doing the task, if they're not doing it in the way that allows you mental bandwidth, then you haven't done the SOP correctly. You haven't done your training correctly. You haven't led your team enough. Make sense?
Brilliant.
So that sorry?
Brilliant.
I hope that changes your life, dude. I really, really do.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was brilliant. Thank you very much, Liz.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. By the way, what I want everyone to see here as well, I hope that you can see what I'm doing. I'm telling you stories.
Hook.
Telling stories. Tell stories to help people understand things, help people get that from in the heart. Because I bet you all understood the 90% wasn't good enough, right? Closing that loop. And the funny thing is, I'm literally looking at a loop. I'm like looking at a loop going, ooh, that's a funny analogy. I'm looking at this silly old loop up here. Anyway.
How big's your team right now? And yeah, I want to
love that. So, sorry, say that one more, the last part.
Yeah, I want to know, how big's your team today? And then I want to know, like, on a day-to-day, how do you, like, are you getting bombed? Are people fighting for your attention? Are you getting text here and an email from this department? Like, how do you manage that?
I love that. Okay. So I've got like an internal team, like a close team. Then I've got a peripheral team.
Okay.
So what that means is that like I love leverage. Leverage is my best friend. Like, you should be finding as much leverage in your life as humanly possible. By the way, Mike, are most people here gym owners or in the gym space? Yeah.
75% are gym owners, 25% are internet marketers.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Got it. So all of you, leverage comes from systems. Leverage should be your best friend. Like, I literally, that when I jumped into the world of internet marketing, because looping back around, closing the loop here, Mikey, this is good. You said to me, how did I jump into this world? Well, I jumped into the service-based business. Like, I had a social media management company. That was the very first thing that I did here, because I reached that point as an employee where I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this $45,000 per annum thing working for two douchebags who are charging me out over here at $75,000 a pop for this thing. And I'm like, I know my worth. I know that they are literally now using my name to close deals. I'm like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but that's how I felt. Raw, real, and honest. Here's the thing is that, Anthony, I'm glad you're laughing at that. I'm like, ooh, probably shouldn't have pulled the fingers. Anyway, whatever. In New Zealand, like, flipping the bird is not quite as bad as the rest of the world. I will tell you a story about that in a second. In fact, I'm going to tell you now. Who wants to know a little bit more about me and my upbringing?
Come on.
Farm girl, massive farm girl. That when I grew up, when I got bored, like, what I used to do is jump on a motorbike and go out to the back of the farm, like that, and that's how I used to entertain myself. And I used to take dogs, and I used to like just walk around the farm. And anyway, I remember like my mom left my dad around 13. Yeah, when I was 13, but younger than that, I was already like helping dad in the kitchen. Like I'm the person that I'm hypersensitive as a person, like as an individual. Like, if you look at hypersensitivity or empathy or an empath, I'm an empath. That's one of the greatest things that you can use as a marketer, by the way. Even the dudes, by the way, that are listening to this right now, empathy with your customer and understanding your customers. And when I say even the dudes, like, some guys don't get this. They're like, oh no, it's all that touchy-feely shit. No. Being able to empathize with your people, with your customers, with your clients, with the people that are coming in, and understanding their pain, that will be one of the greatest gifts that you can do to A, serve them, and B, serve yourself. Okay? So anyway, I tell you a story about the whole pulling the fingers thing, because I'm super sassy, super cheeky with my dad. We say cheeky in New Zealand, I say sassy when I'm speaking to predominantly Americans so that they can understand me. I also say water instead of water so that Americans understand me as well. Good story with that. I used to be a premier VIP transportation driver, and I used to pick people up from Denver International, and I used to drive them to Vail, Colorado, and that used to be my job. And these people used to say to me, when I used to ask them, I say, excuse me, sir, would you care for some water? And this dude said to me one day, huh? And I'm like, sir, would you care for some water? I'm being all professional and stuff. And he goes, honey, I can't understand you. I'm like, sir, would you like some water? He was like, oh, why didn't you say that in the first place? I'm like, trying. Anyway. So long story short here, my dad, I used to be able to always know when my dad was coming back in from the farm. This one day, like I walked up, like we had this driveway that he used to drive the motorbike down. And this part, like the end of the kitchen, I remember standing there, and my dad like is just about to go past And I'm being super sassy with my dad, and all of a sudden, didn't even know why I did it, but all of a sudden I like pulled the fingers at my dad. And then I was like, no, what just happened? Like joking with my dad, it might have been something that people had started to do at school or whatever. And then all of a sudden my dad's like going past in the motorbike, and he suddenly goes, no. And I'm like, I said to my dad afterwards, I said, because he went and he put the motorbike away and he fed the dogs and he came back in. I said, Dad, what was this? And he goes, Elizabeth, it is 5 better than that. And I was like, oh, my dad totally won that one. So now, like, that's a joke in my family. Like, it's actually a term of endearment. Like, my kids pull the fingers at me and it means I love you, as opposed to F off. Like, it's a term of endearment in my family. And sometimes I forget that I'm on live stream. So I needed to explain that story. So where were we?
Yeah. So,
systems, leverage.
Yeah. So Liz, how do you, sometimes for me, I'll get hit from different departments, and then before I know it's like 4 o'clock. And
yeah,
then
got it.
Tomorrow. How do you manage that within your...
So first thing that you all, if you're in the service industry, you have to read the book Clockwork. Just read it. It's by a guy by the name of Mike Michalowicz. Amazing book. It basically means, like, Mike, you haven't set your week up. You haven't set the culture up correctly in your business. You haven't got your belief system, your internal belief system, and your team in alignment with where everyone's going. Because if people are like, hey, Mike, can you close off on this? And you haven't developed culture potentially in your business yet, where people can make decisions for themselves and like come to you just at that last little bit. Or so I don't get hounded by my team. I used to get hounded by my team because I had this arrogance in my mind that only I could make every single freaking decision in the business. And if I have that, I haven't trained my team. I haven't empowered my team enough to be able to make decisions in absence of me. Okay. So I haven't created a system. I haven't created that system and trained them up enough for them to be able to make the decision. So my team right now, to answer your question, I've got a tech person, administrative person. We've got sales. We've got so my wife Christy and I like work in the business together. She does our high ticket sales. She's also like my executive assistant. And I say that with love and due respect. We've tried for like 5 years to find the exact right way to say it, but it's kind of the best way to say it is she makes sure I eat and do the things that I need to do. But we are very much in the business together at the top. Like, we are both in alignment with where we're going. It's not the Liz Benny show. It's the Liz and Christy show. I just happen to be the dancing monkey that kind of jumps on these types of calls.
Gotcha. Okay, culture. I'm hearing culture empower the team.
Yeah.
To do that. Liz, I want to hear about this before we wrap up. Tell us about when you first linked up with Russell.
Oh, cool. I'm just going to see, by the way, if I've got a call after this, I can probably go a little bit longer.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Liz. Sorry to interrupt, because I know you don't have much time. I was going to ask you about the internal growth you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
How do you build the internal growth, and like how do you build that internal relationship with yourself? Yeah, how do you do that? Because you were talking about coming from the heart and the external, but how do you build that internal growth?
Benedict. I'm guessing you're Benedict, or is the other guy Benedict?
That's
me.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I just didn't like. Sorry, Mike. What was it?
I told Dan, who's with him right now, I told him to elbow him for me.
There you go.
So the first thing, dude, like, brilliant question, by the way. It's like, well, how? Like, I know I need to grow myself, but how? One of the very first things that I would say, honestly, and sometimes this is hard, but it literally is, you need to reverse engineer the future version of yourself. Okay? And you go, well, over here, and I out of my future, I want to, like, you paint that future version of yourself. I want to be a person that runs an organization, or I want to, okay, this is a better way to say it. I want to have, by the way, are you a gym owner?
Sorry, no, I'm actually a marketer. Me and Dan do digital marketing.
You don't need to apologize for being a marketer, dude. It's all good. I just wanted to know which one of the 25 or so if you're a marketer, awesome. So you pick up, you go, well, what type of business do I want to have? Who am I serving? What type of business do I want to have? Like, and take yourself completely out of, as much as you can, get yourself out of the day, get yourself out of the day-to-day stuff, take yourself away to a dream space, like really and truly allow yourself to think of your future. What are you doing this for? Where are you going? Do you want kids in their future? Like, dream, allow yourself to go in the future. That's what I want. Like, that thing over there is what I want. I want to run a business that is doing at least $50,000 per month in net profit. I want to like paint that picture for yourself. And then from a reverse engineering, from an internal standpoint, then Benedict, you really ask yourself, right, in order to have that, who do I need to show up as? What does that person do? How does that person there show up? How do they act in the day? How do they be in the day? Who do they hang out with? Where are they at? What books does that person read? What does that person do with their time? How does that person believe? Like, what does that person believe about themselves? In order to become that person, who here has heard of the phrase be, do, have? Like, be, then do the things that person's done, and then you'll have, yeah. So this is a different way of saying be, do, have. It's like, if I want to be a person that makes $10,000 a day, what is that person like? What is that person like? Imagine that person, right? Well, I would hazard a guess that a person that makes $10,000 a day of new money, what I mean by that is like, there's old money, right? Money that you make through your family or through No, let's just pretend that we're all actually making our own money and we're not getting mummy and daddy's money coming through, right? So if you're going to be the type of person that is making your own future, you go, right, $10,000 a day. A person that makes $10,000 a day respects the shit out of their time. They probably meditate. They understand that they, is this helping you, Benedict? Can you understand what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah, I relate to what you said about painting a future picture, because at the moment with coronavirus, we can't go anywhere. But my mate, who inspired me to be an entrepreneur, he made like 70 grand in a day, and he told me he always took me to 5-star hotels and like immersed me and deliberately puts you in like an environment where you feel uncomfortable, because it gets you used to you kind of condition your mind to feel like you're used to success, kind of thing. Amen.
Like, absolutely. And you need to realize and break the shackles that you sometimes you don't even know that you've got shackles around you. Like, I've put myself in many boxes where like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I went through a period of time where I quote unquote made it. And then, you're so welcome. And like and then people started to attack me, because people like to attack people, like it's tall poppy syndrome. And then people started to attack me. And then what I started to do was retreat a little bit, because I'm like, you know what? I need to regroup. I need to become stronger, but I also don't like the feeling of people saying this crap about me that's completely and utterly untrue. And then, I realized though, Benedict, that I'd put myself in a box where I thought that I was safe, but I was actually putting myself in a cage and people could still get in. Their thoughts and their feelings and their could still get in, but I wasn't actually like building myself up to be this beautiful, resilient person that you now see. Like, people could say whatever they want to me right now. I'm like, is that true for me? Is that true for me? Is that who I am? So I've had a past client as an example, and this is what you all need to take away from this is know who you are, grow who you are, love who you are, grow your internal capacity of like, I am. Whatever follows the statement I am, Tony Robbins says this, whatever follows the statement I am is true. 100% true. So in the past, I was believing that I was, well, that person over there came into one of my things, and then they said this, and they said these things about me. And then this other thing over here happened. I'm like, well, what does this mean about me? Like, am I a bad person? Like, I must be a bad person. If I've made it and other people can't make it, then I must be a bad person. So I started to make myself out in my mind, pretending, like, assuming that I'm a bad person. And then, but then, is that no, I go out there and I serve my freaking face off and I systemize the shit out of things to make sure that people, when they come into the system and then they do the work, right? The onus is on the other person to do the work. Part of kapow, like kapow is K-A-P-O-W. There are 5 letters in kapow. This is actually my brand here. And the O part of kapow means ownership. Now, for those of you that are having coaching programs or those of you that have gyms, ultimately, it is the responsibility of the person that comes to your gym or the person that buys the product to do the work to get the result. Know where that line is, and know where that line is in terms of your internal sense of self as well. You can overcoach, you can overcare, you can pander, you can disempower by overcoaching and overcaring. Just as such, you can be a useless piece of crap if you don't give them all the tools and resources that they need to have the success that you're selling. Okay, so I say to you this: know yourself, be yourself, grow your confidence, grow your sense of self, grow your sense of purpose, grow your sense of being. Know your path as closely as you can. And sometimes what that means is step out of your current situation. And if you can't step out of your house, step out of your office and step out of Facebook and step out of the internet and go into a world of dreaming. Go into a journaling world. Go into a different world, because you can control this. You can control what you put into your brain. The power of the subconscious mind. You are all training yourselves on a daily basis to get your future. So whatever you're putting in on a daily basis is you are training yourselves for your future. Okay? So that's part of the reason why I'm going away this weekend, because I'm like, right, and I regularly do this as much as I can, but I reboot. I'm like, right, I know that I'm here, and I'm driving pretty high, but I know that I want more. I've got to go be more first. I know that my future, I want more freedom, even more freedom than I have. I want to travel more, right? Well, I can't travel at the moment. No, I can. That was a lie. I can jump in a car tomorrow and I can go to Queenstown. We're going to be listening to personal development the whole way down. We're going to be listening to audiobooks the whole way down, because to be the person that I seek to be in the future, I learn to become that person. I don't just chuck on music the whole way down. We don't just shoot the shit and talk about da-da-da-da-da. No, we learn. We use that time to learn the skills to get to the next level.
Is that what you call smelling the leather? I've heard that concept. It's like, that's what I said about my friend when I was in uni. I'm broke, like he would take me to these hotels, so you're like test driving the car, so you feel, is that what you mean, sort of thing?
Yeah. Feel it with your senses. You can feel it. Like, here's the thing, don't trap yourself in your mind right now though, because you can feel it all without even going there. Like you can create a mind movie, and whatever you do consistently is where you're going to get results. So for those of you that are gym buffs, like, you know that if you go to the gym and you expect like a 6-pack on day one, you're screwing yourself over. Like, you're not going to get there. It's not a reality unless you're like pumping them up with some stuff and like cutting out the fat, but that's a very artificial way to go do it. Right? Who's got a corona baby, by the way? Who's got a corona baby? A corona baby is where you might have developed just a little bit more around the midsection than you had before. That's a corona baby. I got a corona baby. I went back to the gym. Yeah. I love that people are honest, like, yeah, me.
Liz, I have a quick question. When it
Go
comes
for it, Alex.
So you were talking about all this stuff, like he was asking alignment, internal growth, and then also talking about sharpening your skills, sales, marketing, all that entrepreneurship, the things you need to be like a leader and stuff. So what are some of the tools specifically that you have used to get in alignment with yourself, your internal self? Because me personally, like, I've been doing this a long time now. I went from personal trainer, gym owner, now I'm partners with Mike. We've got our online business now. And I'm at that point where like my skills are sharp. They're always getting sharper. I'm pretty aligned with where I want to go. what are some of the internal skills that you used in order to be able to accept more abundance into your life? Draw out negativity. And like, I'm always listening to audio. I never listen to music in the car. It's like against my willpower. I just won't do it. And I'm constantly listening to audiobooks when I'm working. I'm listening to podcast audio. It's always in the background, right? Because I'm really into that whole subconscious mind thing. But I'm just curious, as someone that is successful as you, and then having dyslexia, all that stuff. Like, I grew up with learning disabilities. They told me I had like all this crazy stuff. So I'm at that point where I just really want to know what tools have helped you the most to get into alignment, accept that abundance, love yourself, and just open up that door to let the floodgates in. Because it's like, I think a lot of us are right at that point where we're just like, okay, we're right fucking there, and we're just ready to get there. And what are just like a little gem that you would use to be like, this thing helped me so much?
Do you want to know the truth?
It's my own gem.
Well, hey, dude, your gut just told you, like, your gut just spoke to you. Like, I was going to say, do you want to know the truth about me? But I also want to let you know that you just answered a lot of your own question with your gut.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I believe in that too. I'm huge on the intuition piece. But I want to hear your gem too.
so my gem is this. Number one, definitely one, like the first way I want to answer this question here is to say that each of you has all the answers that you need. Like, I have coaching clients, and I'm like I lead people through programs as well, right? So you're being led by the incredible Mike right now. I was going to say Mark. I was thinking of someone else, Mike, right now. You're being led, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. And your intuition is leading you as well. So I say to you, take things, and this is what I say to my clients as well. So there's two ways I'm going to answer this question. Take the stuff and then run it through your own filter. What does this mean for me? What is the best way for me to show up with this information right now? How can I be the highest version of myself within this thing? Like, because I've had people go, oh, in order to be successful, I have to be exactly like Liz Benny. And I hear them go, hi, and a massive hello, my name is, and I'm like, oh, no. The hey and a massive kapow thing, that's me. You go do you. Like, you go do you. Right? So one of the things is inner authenticity, and never like, inner authenticity is one of the biggest things that you can allow yourself, like, is, I think people, like, authenticity is coming up thick and fast right now, but I think people are misconstruing what authenticity is. Being real. Be you, show up, say fuck if you want to say fuck, and be okay with the, like, Alex, I'm like, woo, okay, you dropped the F-bomb, sweet. This is okay, cool, awesome. So there is listening to your gut and having high self-integrity. High self-integrity means that you're not going to be lying to yourself, because if you're trying to sell a product that you know is not right, or that you know is not, like, it's out of alignment with your core values, it doesn't work. So that's number one, is make sure that what you're doing and who you're being is actually truthfully, internally in alignment with you. And if it's not, change it. Change either what you're doing, or change how you're being and showing up, or change how you're looking at it, or understand that, you know, like, like, I have a client that is capable of making a crap ton of money, and he won't ever take the next step if it's disingenuous to him, if it's out of integrity with who he is as a person, because he knows he can go and make a crap ton of money, but he wants to make sure that he does it in alignment with himself. So that's number one, Alex. Number two, though, from a healing and abundance standpoint, so that was also from a healing and abundance standpoint, but specifically from a way that, like, something that you probably wouldn't hear from most successful people.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to go there. So I'm going a little bit slower because I want to make sure that I say this the right way.
Yeah, for sure. It's, I mean,
to land on as many hearts as humanly possible. Help as many people as possible. Because, okay, so I personally believe that there is good and bad energy floating around in the world, right? There is, and sometimes it's hard with our logical mind to understand what is holding us back. And I'm about to tell you something that you probably would never actually think, that is like how I operate in business, but I'm going to tell you the truth as well, because sometimes, like, we as high performers, there's beautiful left brain stuff, and we get in and we logically and we systemize stuff, and that's amazing. And then over here, there's the creative side, right? And there's this beautiful duality between those. But sometimes when you're in left brain and when you're in your business, it's kind of like sometimes you have blinders on and you can't see the anchors. You can't see what's holding you back. You can't see I'll say it in a different way. You can't see the devil showing up in your life. You can't see the negative energy in your life. You can't see it because you don't know it's there, because you're too focused on like the thing, but you don't realize that you literally are trying to get into top gear in the car, but your clutch is broken. You can't get from 2 to 3, let alone 2 to 6. Does this make sense, everyone?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do is I literally have a spiritual guide in my life, a person who is able to, like, I can literally reach out to her. Where's that? Oh, Benedict, do you want to mute yourself, dude? Just so we don't get that feedback. So I literally have, thanks, man. I literally have a person in my life that I call up and I say, am I good? Like, I feel some resistance right now. Like, what's going on? And this person can literally, like, from a woo-woo, spiritual, weird healing standpoint, can go, yeah, you've got some fear about how big you're about to go, or yeah, you've got some attachment to the past, or yeah, like, you got some healing that you need to do with regards to your relationship with your mother, which is where the root of your abundance fear comes from. I'm like, oh gosh, now I need to go heal that relationship with my mother. Like, like, that sucks, but I'll go do it because I know that it's the thing that's holding me back. Often we as business owners, we think that strategy is the only thing that's going to get us the financial result, but we forget that there are other things. There are other things that can play into our ability to be in flow. So I literally have one of my meetings today is with a beautiful person by the name of Nancy, and I'm actually meeting with her in 50 minutes from now. And I've called her more times than I'd like to admit to say, no, I take that back. I've called her any time that I felt like, hey, I'm feeling some resistance. Like, is there anything going on, or like, what's up with this? So I go to spiritual healing people. I make sure that like last week I had 2 massages because I had this enormous pain. Like, the body shows us where we're out of alignment. So I literally, I go to Reiki healers, I go to intuitive masseuses, I trust my gut too, because there are some dodgy people that say that they're good and then they're basically just predatory. So you got to be careful, but always just trust your gut. And I mean, I approach business and life from the standpoint of, I want as much flow and love and positivity in my life. And sometimes I can't see the darkness, and I want the darkness out as much as possible so I can serve as best I can. So I thoroughly recommend, like, some people who are extremely biblical will say, yeah, no, Liz, that I'm going to go pray, do that. Some people who are more on the quote unquote spiritual side are like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, get that darkness, get that, because I mean, I've been attacked more, like, spiritually more times than I'd like to admit, and I can feel it in my body. I'm like, like, feels like a dagger in my back, because I'm highly sensitive, right?
What sign are you?
What sign am I? Virgo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, all or nothing. He asks every single person I've ever introduced him to.
Well, like, we're very similar. So I have an LMFT that does all of her practice with meditation, breathing, and astrology. And I've been going to her for like 5 years. And she's kind of like, not my spiritual healer like you, but she does the same thing for me. So, like, I'm just like, I'm picking up. I'm like, all right, I'm on the right page. The wall is almost broken. It's almost there.
Yeah, totally. And Alex, I feel like I'm gonna be raw, real, and honest with you and say, if you've been going for her for 5 years, great, cool, keep that relationship with her. And there might also be another person for you to help you get, like, because there are spiritual people have different gifts. So allow yourself to, like, some people are Reiki healers, distance Reiki healers. Some people actually are more conversational. So just allow yourself to, I feel intuitively that if you've been going to this person for 5 years, you're definitely on the right path in terms of being open to it. Love that. And don't ditch that person. That person's good for you. But be open to the fact that there might be another person that can...
Like
coaches or no, another, like I'm saying, another spiritual healer, like another person that might come up into your world and you're like, oh my gosh, I just had this breakthrough and I feel light. Like, do you know what I mean, everyone? It's like, oh, I feel this lightness. I feel like I can dance through my business instead of have to through my business.
It's like unlocking a door.
You do.
Liz, I've got a question for Liz here. What are some of the top books that you recommend that really helped you to get to where you're at? A list just of some books.
Love it. So one of the very first books that I ever read, and it's not a typical internet marketing book, but it's a book called Delivering Happiness by Tony, I think you pronounce his name, Tony Say, I think. And he's the guy, he developed, he built Zappos, and Zappos then was purchased by Amazon. Here's the thing. You can have all the marketing skills in the world, which are amazing. Like, obviously, like Russell Brunson's books, I mean, they're all there. Like, obviously, I recommend from an internet marketing, and also, like, he's a geek when it comes to marketing. He's a real geek when it comes to that sort of stuff. And I love that part of him. I really, really do. And in order to, like, all of you need to understand that to get to where you're going in business, it's not just about selling a product, but it's about the emotions and how your customers feel. So Delivering Happiness will help you understand that if you can help your customers feel like part of your business, everyone wins. Like, people come out of the blue and they say kapow to me, like, this dude, again, never met him. Yesterday he's busy, like, what's his name? Michael Lohman. He literally, I was in stitches. I've never met this man, but I want to impart this upon you. This is the coolest thing in the world. Like, he reached out to me yesterday, never met him, and he says, love you, Liz. And I'm like, back at you. Thanks for reaching out. And he said, what you did changed my life and you don't even know it. I'm like, cool, I'd love to know more. And he tells me the story about, like, how he's just got his first client because he read the 30 days book from Russell Brunson. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then I said, he said to me that he listened to my video or watched my video 20 times. So then I make a joke and I say, so you can do the New Zealand accent then? And then he comes out and he says this is the coolest thing in the world. So when you can help people feel like you give a crap enough about, like, you'll get people from all around the world saying, like, oh, to you. Listen to this.
It was just something about your energy. It was something about the way you broke it down. You made it simple. You didn't make it seem like it was overly simplistic, but you didn't make it seem like it was impossible. And I'm fighting. I'm only on my first client, but I'm fighting for my 2 comma club. Then maybe I can give you a hug at Funnel Hackers.
And then listen to this.
All I got to say is kapow.
Didn't know this guy, but he's saying kapow. And then this is one of the funniest things in the world. Where is this?
Yep, I can do the accent. I can even do the little move where you make that little fast move and you scare people and they fall like they chair at their desk. Yeah, I like that move too, that kapow move.
What? Like, see what I mean? Like, allow people to connect with you. And by the way, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always gregarious enough to, like, I am being more myself. This is the last thing I'll say. I'm being more myself now than I've ever been. I had to get through all of my fears. Like I had these fears that I'm in a same-sex relationship, so people are gonna hate on me because I'm in a same-sex relationship. There's a story in my mind. I held myself back because of the stories that I was telling myself about my worth and my ability to show up and be myself in the world. It makes sense. So I'm gonna finish with one story here around that, because I want all of you to be imparted with that sense of like, you're amazing. You're here to serve. You're here to do these incredible things in the world. You can have the life that you want, that you dream of. Dream big, and then do what we've talked about today to help you walk that pathway. But I'm going to tell you this. Once upon a time, there was a lesbian that stood in this office here, and Russell Brunson sent, who here knows Russell Brunson, by the way? Most people here know Russell Brunson? Yeah. So, nice. So Russell Brunson voxed me. And he said, oh, hey, so we're organizing the speakers for Funnel Hacking Live next year. Wondering if you, can you come speak? I'm like, yeah, yes, please. Okay. So then like, I knew that my topic was going to be around, making $1 million with a webinar, because Russell's really, really good at going, where am I taking this and who do I need to serve and and then who needs to come in to speak the story to help people believe that they can do it too. He's brilliant at putting people on stage that have done what he's wanting to help other people do. Does that make sense? So if we think about that, yeah. So then I say this, I'm like, yeah, dude, love to. And then for the next 3, 4, 5 months, and I'm going to tell this story because it's timely at the moment. And also it is a story that I hope you find power and truth in for yourself to show up. Okay. So preparing for speaking at Funnel Hacking Live, my mind starts to go into, oh, what's that going to be like? And then I'm standing up on stage in my mind. Okay, cool. I'm standing up on stage in my mind. Okay, cool. I'm standing up on stage in my mind. I'm going, oh. So then I start to imagine the worst. We all do this. I start to imagine the worst case scenario. I'm in a same-sex relationship. I'm about to stand up on stage to an American audience, knowing that at least half of, politically speaking, knowing that at least half of the audience don't agree with the nature of my relationship. This makes sense? Are you guys getting this? So I know that I'm up on stage and I already feel on the back foot, because in my mind, I've put myself on the back foot. I've put myself on the back foot because I still, in my mind, I'm standing up on the stage as if I am wrong, as if I'm dirty, as if I'm disgusting, as if I need to apologize for the nature of my relationship. But I'm in the right relationship for me to show up as the best version of myself for the world, to do my work in the world. I've been with, I was with a dude that just wasn't right for me, and I knew it in my gut. Absolutely knew it to the nth degree. I was in the wrong relationship. I could already see, because I'd seen it in my mind's eye, that I was meant to be with a woman. And it's not that I'm lesbian or anything like that. It's just, I know that was my path. I don't identify with lesbian, by the way. I'm lesbian who is married to Christy Atkinson. That's it. I love my wife. So I'm standing in this office, imagining myself up on stage. Please get this, everyone. Please get this. Please stay with me. Focus just on this, because each and every one of you have bullshit limiting beliefs that are going to hold you back. If you don't own them and go, that is bullshit, no, that is not right, that is not me, that is not me showing up as the highest, best version of myself. It's not. If I show up in fear, I am bringing to me that which I fear. Making sense? So I was in this office, shit scared, even before I jumped on the plane. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I reached out the other day and I spoke to my amazing friend, Devon Brown. Who knows Devon from Funnel Hacking Live? I told Devon the story about, he's the MC.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I freaking love it. And I was telling him the story that, because there's a lot of judgment flying around in the world right now, a lot of it. So I'm speaking directly to that, but also it's a story that I want you all to know, because it's very important for you in your lives and your businesses to understand that taking ownership for your limiting beliefs that don't serve you anymore, you've got to do that. And when I say take ownership, I mean take responsibility. I don't want you to own them. Take responsibility for the BS you're telling yourself and get it out of your life. So I was standing in this office, absolutely crap scared to even jump on the freaking plane, because in my mind, all I could see, and I'm going to say it because this was my fear, I'm owning my fear, I'm going to say it, all I could see was there was going to be this white dude that didn't agree with the nature of my relationship, and I was going to be shot. In my mind, I was on stage, fucking live, trying to serve people, trying to help people. And the moments that I said the words, my wife, someone was going to stand up and blow me up. And I tell you that story because it was bullshit. I tell you that story because it was my fear, because of the nature of my relationship, because of what I thought other people were going to think about me. And I can tell you right now that the courage that it took for me to like run up on that stage, I literally had to get hypnosis. Like I had to get hypnotized to go up on stage, to get through the fear that I had, and it wasn't the fear of standing up on stage. It wasn't the fear of standing in front of all of these people that were like, oh my gosh, this person's made all this money and I want to be like, no, it's not that. The fear that I had is that I was going to be so judged and hated the moment that I said the words, my wife. But that's who I am. Get that? That's who I am. And the moment that I started owning who I am and being who I am and being okay with who I am and loving who I am and standing up for myself, and I'm not a mess, like I am, I will tell you right now, there is not a gay flag in my house. I do not see myself as gay. I see myself as a person who is with a person. And I was worried what other people would think of me. And I've had people say to me on Facebook ads, you need a dick. Pardon? I need what? You're going to get judged. The worst judgment is that which you put on yourself and the box that you put yourself in. Period. Because I stood up on stage as I believe I was the first chick to stand up on stage, the first woman to stand up on stage. And I also believe that I was the first person, I don't know if this is true, I think it's true, but I was the very first person to get a standing ovation. My fear was I was going to be shot. And I would say that 95% of the audience stood up and yahooed the ever-living shit out of me as I came back out off that stage.
Powerful. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Liz.
You're welcome. Can I ask a question? Anthony, can you unmute yourself, man?
Absolutely.
What'd you take from that?
Huh?
What did you
take?
Well,
you know what? I'm going to tell you, I really took a lot due to the fact that I'm at a point in my life where I have been coming with different opportunities, but I've been thinking that they're too good to be true, you know, and not allowing myself to accept that, you know. And I think that is a fear of probably, I don't want to really say fear of success, but just not being prepared, you know, fear of not being prepared. And so what you said resonated a lot with me, you know, so you know, I just have to get myself to start accepting more, open myself up to my blessings, you know?
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. Is anyone else, like, I love to know how people connected, like, with it. So Tony, do you want to, like, did that resonate with you in any way, shape or form?
Hey
man.
I just want to say that I really like the one you shared about leadership and making use of leverage for your organization.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Awesome.
Angela, sorry, it says Limelight Media Team.
I was like, Guy, I was literally going to call you Limelight Media Team. And I was like, no, I think you're Angela. Hey, girl.
Yeah. Hi. So that was a really powerful story about like how you had this fear about people being judged, because like I've always had this fear like of people are going to judge me. I remember before I got on the team with Mike, I was like, and he wanted to hire me as marketing, and I was like, no, I mean, like, I'm an amateur marketing. Like, I'm not good enough to do this. Like, I'm not like, what do you mean you want to hire me? Like, there's so many other better marketing directors. There's so many other things. And like through Mike and like through being on in here and like proving my skills and stuff, like I really like have come to believe that like, you know what, I am a damn good marketer. I know what the hell I'm doing. But I really like, I was scared to be judged. And now I go in and talk to our clients and own the space because I act like I believe in myself now. And it's just, you know, so I just want to say like I really resonated with that. But it really took like finding a great team and finding like people that believed in me for me to really start believing in myself. And as an individual, I've grown so much in like a year that I'm going back to see my family. I'm like, they're not even gonna know who I am anymore. Like I've grown so much. Like I like stand up for what I believe in. I like, even Mike will tell you, like, if I think something's right, I'll challenge him. And I'm like, no. And he's like, so it's just like, you know, it's just really powerful. And I see myself like really owning who I am these days through like my journey too.
That's so cool. You are who you hang around with. Hang around with good people. You can't help but grow. This is so cool.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. Is there anyone else who wants to share anything or ask any final questions?
Yeah, I had a question. I mean, when you said about the internal environment, growing the internal environment, I feel like sometimes in this journey, it's like you've got your cup and you can only put so much in it. And as you go along, your cup grows so you can attract more abundance in your life. And I was wondering, you said about reverse engineering, like people who you want to become like, but if you want to have like a larger cup, what's helped you to do, you know, attract more abundance in your life?
Understand that it's not a cup and it's actually a lobster shell.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to have to get out of your shell because you've outgrown where you're at. And it's going to potentially hurt the journey. The journey is potentially going to hurt between your old shell and the new home shell, the new shell that you're going to go to. That hurt is the growth. That hurt is pain. Don't run away from pain. Pain is good. Be okay with the fact that internally you're going to have to get rid of the stories that don't serve you anymore and find empowering versions of that same story. So as an example, I can look at myself knowing that I was always going to be in a same-sex relationship, meaning that I'd seen it. God Spirit Universe had imparted it on my awareness, just like I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, right? So I knew it. But in my mind, based on the construct that I was growing up with, that is wrong, dirty, disgusting, bad. So being a person in business who is in a same-sex relationship, I was calling myself wrong, dirty, disgusting, bad. And actually the extension of that was deserve to die. Like if I'm one of those lesbian people, that's what I was thinking. If I'm one of those lesbian people, then I'm actually worthless and I should freaking just die. Like this is not like no. Like no one's ever going to do business with a lesbian because they're going to see me as a lesbian. But guess what? I was seeing myself as a dirty, disgusting lesbian. Or actually I was more to the point, I was fearful that people would see that of me because that to me represented losing my dad, losing safety, losing home, losing things. So I tried to stay, but I needed to get out of that lobster shell. I needed to get out of that because I wasn't going to be able to be that. I wasn't going to be able to be lesbian, the queen of kapow in that lobster shell. It hurt being in the shell, but it hurt on the journey to the next shell. But it doesn't hurt anymore. I can say to all of you right now, my wife just arrived home, and I don't have to say, oh, my partner just arrived home. And then leave it all in your minds like, oh, what does that mean? Is she with the dude? Is she with the man? No, my wife just arrived home. Yay! I'm proud. So, Benedict, sorry, it's Dan, right?
Yeah, Dan, yeah.
Sweet. You need to do Benedict Dan down the bottom. So anyway, just kidding. So what I would say, dude, is like, how do you grow yourself? Well, the first thing is awareness that you need to grow. So you're moving down the right like pathway right now. You really, really are. So just understand that the people that have the life that you aspire to be like probably don't have a bucket that they're trying to grow bigger. They are aware that they need a bigger bucket. And they're aware they need to grow.
Liz,
so you've started today. It's awesome, man.
Liz, I just want to say one last thing. This was very powerful. I got a feeling like right now, a very like empowering feeling. I can't even put words to it, and I know everyone feels the same way. So thank you for your like your transparency, your realness. Like you're dope. Like I mean that. I'm very thankful. None of us will never forget this, and I mean that. You're a very gifted storyteller as well. And I just want to say thank you so much. It really means a lot. The big thing that I took away, I want to tell you is that you need to become the person. You want to get where you're going. You need to become that person in your business. You really just need to become that person. That was great. So Liz, thank you so much, guys.
You're so welcome.
Liz Benny, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you, Liz.
Love you, man.
We love you.
Woo! Okay, we're gonna do one thing. Just you want to do one thing, just so we can have fun, just so we can have a little bit of fun, and then like I can cruise off to my next meeting. Can we all just do the kapow together, please, please, please?
All right.
Go.
Let's
Okay.
roll.
So your right hand is the hand that is going to be going forward. Okay, so kind of just put your hands up like this. So the right hand is going to be, oh, come on, playful out here, everyone. You can do it. You can do it. So your right hand is going to be the one that's going forward. So you know, like Spider-Man, how Spider-Man goes, like and like does his little Spider-Man thing. So here, like when your right hand comes forward, you're going to be flicking it a little bit. Okay, so don't worry about the left hand just yet. Okay, right hand come. Yeah. There we go. And the left hand is going to be kind of like flattening it. So, hey, in a massive kapow, we're going to go, hey, in a massive kapow, 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 kapow. There we go. Oh, here we go. So, 1, 2, 3. On 1, 2, 3. Everyone unmute, and we're going to go, hey, in a massive kapow. Hey, and a massive kapow. Ready? 5, 4. Unmute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, in a massive kapow.
Awesome.
Love you all.
Okay.